finally got out in Bass Strait, and it's a bit of a lumpy day, a bit uncomfortable, a bit queasy in the stomach. Got about 3/4 of the head sail out. Winds at 50-60 degrees. We're doing between 3.5 to 6 knots. Just passing the oil rigs that are stationed out here. It's pretty hard to get a photo of them because the boat's going up and down so much, and they're good. They'd be 2 or 3 mile off. Past 2 so far. Got one out in the beam out there at the moment. I think there's one on the nose, and we've just passed one on the other side. A while back. But we made a bit of a, I suppose, had a plan coming out at about 2 o'clock, but when I was coming up to the entrance, I thought the weather looked like it was going to turn to a southeasterly, which it has now. It's okay. It'd be better if it was on the beam, and it's meant to be heading a bit more around to the east a bit later, so I hope it does that. We're in for a bit of a pretty long night. We've got another 15 hours to go. We should be at Deal Island in the morning around about 6 o'clock or so, and we'll probably anchor up there. Hope everything's good there weather-wise, and anchor up and have a sleep. Just turned the nav lights on. It's coming to an end today. Bass Strait just put on a beautiful sunset, and we'll be in Deal Island in the morning about 6 or 7 o'clock. Here we are, just coming into Deal Island. Yeah, that's Deal Island on the left, Murray Passage in the middle, and Erith Island on the right, and behind that's Dover Island. Just taking the drone up on East Cove. It's where the caretakers are based. One of the first things that really stood out to me at Deal Island was how awesome the rock was. The texture and the colour and its form. And I wondered, what would I call that rock? If I had to make a description of it, what would I call it, like on a rock chart for instance? So I come up with a la natural, because it's like courtesy of the natural process, was my thinking. I wonder what you would call it. Leave a comment. This is Erith Island, and the Erith hut is placed in the corner of West Cove there. A group called the Erith Mob come there every summer. And this island is Deal Island, with the lighthouse on the right. And the lightkeeper's house there on the left, and the two more modern buildings on the right where the caretakers stay. One of the original lightkeeper's quarters was turned into the museum. This is it here, with a lot of different artefacts. A photo of the original field nets with guns over their shoulders, and also lots of shipwrecks, and this is one that was come to grief in a heavy fog. I love that photo of the old worn tread because it gives you an indication of how long it's been there for. When I first thought about coming to Deal Island, I was a bit worried about being able to get adequate shelter in a big blow, but since I've been here, it's I can see how you could quite easily manage it. Simply put, shelter in West Cove in a westerly wind. And in an easterly, shelter in East Cove, where my boat is now. You can see it down there. I'm on the edge of on the sand, but my anchor's actually in the sand, which I always think is a better way of anchoring. The old way of getting supplies up the hill down there. That bit's missing. Down here, out there, and there's my boat, and the bloke, another person just turned up as well. Oh well, what a background. There's my boat hooked up on the endless rope. Some of the flora and fauna, these Cape Barren geese up on top of where the rangers' quarters are, but also saw them around the islands, normally in pairs. Absolute tame wallabies, like they just about run on top of you. A couple of the plants around, tea trees, a lot of that type of a bush. Lots of tussock. Rabbit tail, I call that, but I've seen it in a lot of other places, and this is like a sorghum looking plant. I'm not quite sure what it is, but if you know, let us know. And this is local she oak. It's all over the island, as in like she oak forests. I'm not sure what this purple flower is, so if you know, let me know in the comment. The dolphins showed up in East Cove. They're always good to see. a few shots of underwater world with the GoPro with its underwater housing connected to the boat hook, just trawling along in the tinny. As you can see, it's largely a kelp bottom. One section of the bay's got a bit of stony rubble close to the edge, and it just sort of reinforces the reason why you sort of want to anchor in the sand, because anchoring into that type of kelp mass, I think, is probably not all that successful. Now the plan is we're heading out to the Tamar River, which is the river that Launceston's on the northern end of Tasmania tomorrow. We're going to leave about 3 o'clock in the morning. So stay tuned for the next episode, which will basically be the second half of the Bass Strait crossing. Thanks for watching, and see you at the next episode.